Hello and welcome to the Dark Side of the Library. I'm your host, Carrie, and I'm here with my creepy co-host, Katie, and we are going to present our picks for interesting, intriguing, dark non-fiction books coming out in August 2022. We have just a handful of them. I think the publishers are kind of waiting for an onslaught of September, October, November when all the really dark books come out.
Yes.
And before we get started, I want to mention that we have affiliate links for each book in the show notes below and on our blog at darksideofthelibrary.com.
All right, I will start us off today. I feel like you would really dig this book, Carrie. So it's called All the Living and the Dead, From Embalmers to Executioners, an exploration of the people who have made death their life's work.
Whoa.
Comes out August 16. It's by Haley Campbell. And you should check out the cover. It is beautiful. There's a skull on the very cover, and it looks like there's feathers and bones and maybe leaves and twigs. It's interesting.
I have a question.
Yes.
You can get paid to kill people? Do they include assassins?
Oh my God. I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
I don't mean to sound so eager. I'm sorry.
We will find out here. Okay, so we are surrounded by death. It is in our news, our nursery rhymes, our true crime podcasts. It's like they know us. Yet from a young age, we are told that death is something to be feared. How are we supposed to know what we're so afraid of when we are never given the chance to look? Ooh, I like that question. Fueled by a childhood fascination with death, journalist Haley Campbell searches for answers in the people who make a living by working with the dead. So they're already dead, Carrie.
Okay.
Along the way, she encounters mass fatality investigators. Whoa, I didn't know there was a whole subsection.
That's sad that there needs to be that, actually.
I
that
know.
exists.
There's embalmers she's interviewed, a former executioner who is responsible for ending 62 lives.
Whoa.
She meets gravediggers who have already dug their own graves, visits a cryonics facility in Michigan, goes for late night Chinese with a homicide detective,
Wow.
and questions a man whose job it is to make crime scenes disappear. Through Campbell's incisive and candid interviews with these people who see death every day, she asks, why would someone choose this kind of life? Does it change you as a person? And are we missing something vital by letting death remain hidden? A dazzling work of cultural criticism, this book weaves together reportage of memoir, history, and philosophy to offer readers a fascinating look into the psychology of Western death. So that sounds really cool, and I definitely think I'm picking this one up. So this is called All the Living and the Dead, From Embalmers to Executioners, an exploration of the people who have made death their life's work by Haley Campbell.
My first nonfiction book today is called City of the Beast, The London of Aleister Crowley. It's by Phil Baker. It comes out August 16. I dreamed I was paying a visit to London, Aleister Crowley wrote in Italy, continuing, it was a vivid, long, coherent, detailed affair of several days. So Crowley had a love-hate relationship with London, but the city was where he spent much of his adult life, and it was the capital of the culture that created him. He had deviant Victorian roots in the cultural ferment of the 1890s, and he was part of the magical revival of the Golden Dawn. So this book isn't quite a walking guide, although you could piece together many roots from its pages. It's a biography by sights. So you'll learn about London's social history from Victoria to the Blitz, and there's unpublished material about the life of the Great Beast. We follow Crowley as he searches for prostitutes in Hyde Park, drinks absinthe and eats Chinese food in Soho, and finds himself down on his luck in Paddington Green. So this is an interesting way to structure a biography of Aleister Crowley, who's responsible for lots of the Satanism and black magic that was so trendy in America for a while. That's City of the Beast, The London of Aleister Crowley by Phil Baker.
Next up, I have another book that I really want to get now. It's called Dark Folklore. It's
Ooh,
by Mark Norman and Tracy Norman. I bet you and I are both going to pick this one up.
probably.
This comes out August 1st. Hooray! Sooner than later. The first entertaining yet rigorously researched modern anthology to explore a wide range of creepy beliefs, customs, and stories. How did our ancestors use the concepts of demons to explain sleep paralysis? Is that carving in the porch of your local church really what you think it is? And what's the tapping noise on the roof of your car? Ooh, a car story. Okay. No! So the fields of folklore have never been more popular. A recent resurgence of interest in traditional beliefs and customs, coupled with morbid curiosities in folk horror, historic witchcraft cases, and our superstitious past, have led to an intersection of ideas that is driving people to seek out more information. Very, very true. So this book will help at least start off some of those at least questions you might have and answer them, or at least start you on this path of learning more about dark folklore. So check it out. This is by Mark Norman and Tracy Norman. It is called Dark Folklore.
My next book is The Devil's Atlas, An Explorer's Guide to Heavens, Hells, and Afterworlds. It's by Edward Brooke Hitching. It comes out August 16. It's packed with strange stories and spectacular illustrations. It leads us on an adventure through the afterlife, exploring the supernatural worlds of global cultures to form a fascinating traveler's guide quite unlike any other. So his other books were The Phantom Atlas, The Sky Atlas, and The Madman's Library, which I own but haven't read yet.
Oh,
It comes a unique and beautifully illustrated guide to heavens, hells, and lands of the dead as imagined through history by various cultures and religions around the world. There's maps, paintings, and captivating stories. It's a tour of the geography, history, and supernatural populations of the afterworlds of cultures around the globe, such as the 13 heavens of the Aztecs, the Chinese Taoist netherworld of hungry ghosts,
ooh.
Islamic depictions of paradise, or the mysteries of the Viking mirror world. Whoa!
That's cool.
It's a traveler's guide to worlds unseen. I think this is a great reference book that I need to add to my library. It's The Devil's Atlas, An Explorer's Guide to Heavens, Hells, and Afterworlds by Edward Brooke Hitching.
I'm really enjoying the high mythology books and reference books in this month's nonfiction section, because I also have something similar. It's called Flying Snakes and Griffin Claws, and Other Classical Myths, Historical Oddities, and Scientific Curiosities. Oh, this came out in July. I guess maybe they pushed it faster? Is that
I
possible?
snuck it in there. I snuck it in there because we forgot it last month, and I'm like, no, we have to talk about this one.
Oh,
Sorry.
No, don't apologize. I'm excited. So this is by Adrienne Mayer. So Adrienne Mayer is renowned for exploring the borders of history, science, archaeology, anthropology, and pop knowledge to find historical realities and scientific insights, glimmering long-buried nuggets of truth, embedded in myth, legends, and folklore. Combing through ancient texts and obscure sources, she has spent decades prospecting for intriguing wonders and marvels, historical mysteries, diverting anecdotes, and hidden gems from ancient, medieval, and modern times. So this book is a treasury of 50 of her most amazing and amusing discoveries. I love that. That it's also funny a little bit. So the book explores such subjects as how mirages inspired legends of cities in the sky. Ooh. The true identity of winged serpents in ancient Egypt. How
Creepy.
ghost ships led to the discovery of the Gulf Stream. And the beauty secrets of ancient Amazons. Other pieces examine Arthur Conan Doyle's sea serpent and Geronimo's dragon. Flaubert's. I don't think I've heard of Flaubert, and I'm a little ashamed right now.
It's okay. It's Flaubert.
Flaubert.
Yes.
Flaubert's obsession with ancient Carthage, ancient tattooing practices, and the strange relationship between wine goblets and women's breasts since the times of Helen of Troy and Marie Antoinette.
Is that why I'm clutching a wine goblet to my breast every night when I'm watching Netflix?
Maybe.
Mostly I'm clutching it to my mouth, though. But anyway.
And there's a lot more in this book. And oh goodness, we might need to get this book too. Oh my goodness. So this is Flying Snakes and Griffin Claws and Other Classical Myths, Historical Oddities, and Scientific Curiosities. This came out in July 26th, so it's already out. You can get it right now. And it's by Adrienne Mayer. What is next for you?
Well, we just wanted to mention a new upcoming tarot deck, but we would probably need to do a refresher podcast on all the cool tarot and oracle decks that are coming out in the second half of the year.
Yes.
But I couldn't fail to mention the Horror Tarot Deck and Guidebook by Aria Gmitter with Minerva Siegel illustrations and Abigail Larson illustrations too. Oh, what a great team up.
I know.
It comes out August 9. It features vampires, werewolves, and other frights. There's characters from classic horror literature, films, and beyond in gorgeous illustrations. I love that they worked on this together. Let me take a look at some of the preview pictures here on Amazon. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh, it's hard to read it. The sun is like an evil clown with horns. How is that possibly the sun? No. I love it.
No.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be awesome. I think we both need a copy. By the way, for those of you that like videos, not just podcasts, Katie and I have a Dark Side of the Library channel on Amazon Live where we live stream about horror books. We play horror trivia. Yesterday we were playing with the Stranger Things Light Bright, which was hilarious, and my fingers are sore now.
Oh no!
Anyway, you can find our upcoming live streams and Halloween content at amazon.com/shop/Dark Side of the Library.
Thank you.
So that is the Horror Tarot Deck and Guidebook by Aria Gmitter, Minerva Siegel, and Abigail Larson. Comes out August 9.
And we will definitely be doing a live stream of that tarot deck. I guarantee it. So my next book, and also we will probably do a live stream of this one as well. I wanted to mention the Junji Ito collection, a horror coloring book. So this comes out August 2nd. This is obviously by Junji Ito. And if you're not familiar with his work, he is probably the most famous Japanese manga artist on the planet. And his stuff is creepy. It's super sinister. And if you look on Amazon, there's one of the anthologies he has. It's a really creepy lady that's supposed to be a model, but she's really off-putting. She's even in there, so I'm trying not to look at her too much because she's horrifying. But this is a fun coloring book, especially as Halloween approaches. I'm trying to find some fun activities to do with my friends. So this would be a great opportunity to do like a drink and draw or something like that with horror coloring books. So check it out. It's really fun. So this is Junji Ito collection, a coloring book. This comes out August 2nd, which is perfect before Halloween.
My next book is Last Rites, The Evolution of the American Funeral by Todd Hara. Comes out August 2. Why do we embalm the deceased? Why are funerals so expensive? Is there a reason coffins are shaped the way they are? When and why did we start viewing the deceased? Ceremonies for honoring the departed are crucial parts of our lives, but few people know where our traditional practices come from and what they reveal about our history, culture, and beliefs about death. So, Todd Hara is going to take us on a fascinating exploration of American funeral practices, including influences for American rituals, when mourning fell out of fashion and how George Washington's passing brought it back, Abraham Lincoln's landmark funeral and its widespread impact, flowers, liquor, mourning gifts, and caskets, the reasons behind our grieving customs, unknown soldiers, how warfare influenced funeral and bereavement practices, and how growing populations, religion, inventions, and media have changed and shape our traditions. And then we'll take a look at the future of our death rites: mushroom suits, green burial, body donation, flameless cremation, home funerals, and more. Whoa.
Wow.
That is Last Rites, The Evolution of the American Funeral by Todd Hara, and that sounds fascinating. I am going to pre-order it.
Yeah, I'm curious about it too, because it seems like, at least for American funerals, it doesn't seem to have as much history, or I didn't realize there's so much evolution behind it. So that will be interesting. All right, so my next book is called Nicole and Jemmy's Anatomy Book, a catalog of familiar, rare, and unusual pathologies. So this got pushed to October 25th, unfortunately, but it should be interesting. So this is by Nicole and Jemmy. It is a unique anatomical manual and is accessible to all that mixes a humorous tone with academic rigor, which is perfect. I might actually pick this up for my own needs. So this guide is written by the, quote, internet's most famous human dissector, according to Vice. So it features well-documented medical descriptions of all the pathologies, rare and common, that can worry, fascinate, or damage the bodies of people around the world, even in the age of modern medicine. Each case is accompanied by vintage anatomical drawings and stomach-churning descriptions that will be sure to both educate and delight. I'm looking forward to this. I love how approachable this book is because it's like very pink and cute, and it's got like some vintage drawing on here. I love it. So this is Nicole and Jemmy's Anatomy Book, a catalog of familiar, rare, and unusual pathologies. This actually comes out October 25th, and it is by Nicole and Jemmy.
My next book also doesn't come out till September 13th. Oops.
No.
But anyway, this will give you more time to think about pre-ordering it. It is called A Sultry Month by Alethea Hayter, and she spells Hayter Hayter, not like the hateful way to spell it.
Oh.
This is not the darkest book in the world, but I had to include it because it just sounded fascinating, and as I was sitting here sweating in a horrible summer without air conditioning, I really clicked with the description. In this book, A Sultry Month, we wine and dine with Victorian London's literati in a heatwave in one of the first ever group biographies, introduced by Francesca Wade, and this was actually written back in the 60s, and this is a reprint. So, June 1846, as London swelters, sunstroke strikes, meat rots, ice is coveted, a glamorous coterie of writers and artists indulge in decadent parties. With her ringleted face of an Egyptian cat goddess, Elizabeth Barrett, who wrote lots of depressing poetry, especially after her babies died in childhood or childbirth. She's courted by her secret fiancé, the poet Robert Browning, who plots their elopement to Italy. Keats roams the heath, Wordsworth visits the zoo, Dickens is intrigued by Tom Thumb, the Carlyles suffer a marital crisis. But when the visionary painter Benjamin Robert Haydon commits suicide, their lives begin to spiral around the tragedy. So this is one of the first ever group biographies inspired by the pop artists. Alethea Hayter's glorious A Sultry Month was a groundbreaking feat of creative nonfiction back in 1965, and it's as radical today. That's A Sultry Month by Alethea Hayter.
My final book for today, I guess it is the final book of today, is called The Viral Underclass, The Human Toll When Inequality and Disease Collide. It comes out August 2nd. It's by Stephen W. Thrasher. This is not a book I'd probably, whip out and, get through all in one sitting. It'd probably take some time because it sounds super sad. So having spent the groundbreaking career studying the racialization, policing, and criminalization of HIV, Dr. Thrasher has come to understand a deeper truth at the heart of our society, that there are vast inequalities in who is able to survive viruses, and that the ways in which viruses spread, kill, and take their toll are much more dependent on social structures than they are on biology alone. So, told through the heart-rending stories of friends, activists, and teachers navigating the novel coronavirus, HIV, and other viruses, the author brings the reader with him as he delves into the viral underclass and lays bare its inner workings. In the tradition of Isabel Wilkerson's Caste and Michelle Alexander's The New Jim Crow, the viral underclass helps us understand the world more deeply by showing the fraught relationship between privilege and survival. So this is a realistic, dark book. Definitely not one you want to read all at once, probably. So this is called The Viral Underclass, The Human Toll When Inequality and Disease Collide. This is by Stephen W. Thrasher. And that finishes up our entire nonfiction coming out in August 2022. For more dark reads, you can join us on Instagram, Facebook at Dark Side of the Library, and as Carrie previously mentioned, join us on our Amazon Live channel at amazon.com/live/Dark Side of the Library. We'd love to see you there. Come join us for a horror trivia game or two and see what we have to offer. Make sure to tune in every Wednesday and Friday for our episodes, and share this podcast with your friends and loved ones. Rate and review on your favorite listening app. And thank you guys so much for listening. We will talk to you guys another time. Bye!